The possibility of the existence of ghosts has long been a source of intrigue. In fact, possibly the earliest written account of a spectral visitation can be found in a letter Pliny the Younger wrote nearly 2,000 years ago to his friend the Roman senator Lucius Sura. This missive details how a Greek philosopher named Athenodorus reputedly encountered the ghost of a man, his hands and ankles bound in chains, whilst residing at a house in Athens. One night the spectre beckoned Athenodorus outside and led him to a spot in the courtyard, at which the spirit abruptly vanished. The next day, Athenodorus instructed for the ground in this area to be excavated, and in the earth a man's skeleton wrapped in chains was discovered. After receiving a proper burial, the apparition was never seen again. Our fascination with the paranormal remains feverishly high, with thousands of videos, photographs, and alleged audio recordings of spirits available online. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 eerie instances where ghosts have reportedly been caught on camera. Close your eyes and imagine it's Halloween night. You've been out the entire evening, and whether it's been spent trick-or-treating with friends or showing off your newest costume creation, odds are you're exhausted and ready to end the season of scares with your favourite horror movies and creepy compilation videos. And what's a better environment to spend those spine-chilling moments in than under the most comfortable bedsheets you've ever felt, wearing the softest loungewear in your closet, hiding underneath that ultra-cozy duvet to protect yourself from the terrors on the television or phone screen. Luckily, that opportunity is now readily available thanks to our newest partners at Brooklinen, proud sponsors of this video. Brooklinen is a leading e-commerce company formed in 2014, specializing in the bedding and linen industry, with a platinum pedigree to craft gorgeous, top-of-the-line home goods without ever charging the consumer more than what they can afford. They work in sync with manufacturers directly to secure luxury products below luxury prices, always stocking items you both need and want. Plus, Brooklinen never runs out of updated goods, constantly launching new products with fun and fresh seasonal details. We absolutely love how soft and satisfying the bedsheets are. Imagine falling asleep on a cloud wrapped in silk woven in the heavens. They keep us feeling so safe during our own horror flick binges, and know they will always keep you comfortable, in addition to the slick loungewear and luscious linens they also produce. And if you don't believe us, just check out the over 90,000 5-star reviews given by faithful customers who've also received free 365-day warranties for the best items Brooklinen has to offer. The greatest part is you can too, so give yourself the comfort refresh you deserve and get it for less at Brooklinen. Click the link in the description box and use promo code TOP5s to get $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. Now if you haven't already done so, hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. Phantom of Child. A couple's home security camera footage kindled intense international interest after featuring in several newspapers, broadcasts, and a variety of publications. Joey Nolan of Long Island, New York, noticed an outline moving through his living room when reviewing his Nest camera, recording from August 8, 2019. Positioned centrally, overlooking the room and the staircase, the camera picked up what seems to be an obscure, misty shape moving in the kitchen and near to the stairs at 12:54 a.m. Upon closer inspection, Joey and his wife noticed it looked very much like a ghostly figure walking between the rooms. There is also a smaller form lower to the ground moving behind it. Take a look. The couple posted the video online and inquired what their viewers thought of this odd phenomena. Numerous responses included that it resembled the spirit of a child playing with its ghostly pet dog. Given how the shapes appear and move, it is easy to see why people have drawn this conclusion. The figure does seem to stride purposefully towards the stairs, leading down to the lower level of the property, whilst the smaller apparition looks like it's scampering playfully by the staircase. Happily, the motion of a spirit being present in their house doesn't daunt the couple, who have a young daughter. Speaking to one publication, Joey declared that, "We're comfortable about being home alone. At first it was kind of sketchy, but we've attempted to open a line of communication, just in case it is a spirit. We have an our house is your house kind of approach to the situation, as long as it stays pleasant. We're not trying to involve the church." Though sensibly, Joey did add that should any disturbing events occur, the family would certainly leave the property, Granada Hills Community Hospital haunting. It's not uncommon for long-abandoned, derelict hospitals to become the focus of paranormal speculation. There is something inherently creepy about a large, empty building, usually bearing some tattered and poignant remnants of its former purpose, whether it's dusty patient files or discarded equipment. However, hospitals that are fully functional, with their ceaseless noise and bustle, seem to endure fewer reports of supernatural occurrences in comparison. The Granada Hills Community Hospital in Los Angeles, which first opened its doors in 1965, is one such institute, where patients, staff and visitors have claimed to experience inexplicable events and sightings. One such incident was documented by videographer and paranormal enthusiast Daniel Hobbit, who was alerted to unusual goings-on in the Granada Hills facility by a friend, Andy, who was an inpatient at the hospital in 1988. The reports of orbs, ghostly figures, and unexplained phenomena piqued enough interest to feature on a documentary aired in 2007 about hauntings in California. Also featured was the unusual footage obtained by Daniel during his 88 visit. After learning about a supply closet that many staff members were hesitant to go near due to objects moving and the sensation of an unseen presence, he left a camera running in the locked room, which picked up this image. Take a look.
Extensive computer enhancement by Steve Neal, an accomplished visual effects artist, failed to turn up any hint of fraud.
I think what this footage represents is the possibility that this man has actually captured a poltergeist-related phenomenon on tape. I don't think he meant to do that. I don't think he knew what he was going to find when he put that camera inside the closet. I don't think he expected to find this.
Steve spent several days subjecting Daniel's footage to a rigorous series of tests, utilizing state-of-the-art image enhancement software. Since the original image appeared dark on tape, Neal successfully improved the luminance ratio of the image, allowing us to see the face with even better resolution than before.
Now here's the footage. You can see the face clearly. This has been enhanced, color dropped out. You'll see how the image fades away, and then very slowly but surely it starts to reappear, but not everywhere at once. It starts to appear here at the head, goes away again, comes back, and then you can actually see the torso appear down here. It's pretty strange, and it almost looks as though the head bends forward.
Steve became even more startled when, upon analysis, he noticed that the face changed shape from frame to frame.
There you can see pretty much a very fuzzy but very normally distributed human face. And in one frame, it goes to something that looks much more appearance-wise like some kind of monster or skull with these big roundish dark orbits to the eyes. The nose actually appears to be shorter. There seems to be some kind of frown in here and a mouth here. The cheekbone shape has even changed, and if you notice that the jowls have diminished, and you're just starting to see down here the hint of some kind of body. Now I'm going to go back to the previous frame again, and you'll see. I mean, it's almost as though it's two different images entirely.
Of course, this could be attributed to pareidolia or some fault within the tape or equipment. But surely this would have been considered by the video effects professionals handling the tape. This enhancement of the recording certainly reveals what looks like both a distinctly human and, in the next frame, a troublingly inhumane face. Taking the statements about the cupboard being locked at face value, the manifestation that appears on this video may well just be the ultimate corroboration of the spectral sightings within Granada Hills Community Hospital. Given the significant improvements in technology, it would be fascinating to revisit this location. Sadly, the hospital closed in 2003 and was later demolished. The Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences now stands on the site, and as far as we know, there have been no reports of any mysterious activity in the vicinity of this new building. Ghost Monk of St. Mary's Guildhall. Built between 1340 and 42, though extensively revised and expanded in 1460, St. Mary's Guildhall in Coventry stands on part of the site that was formerly home to the city's castle and adjacent to where the Benedictine Priory was founded in 1043 by Earl Leofric of Mercia and his wife Lady Godiva. The Guildhall has served a wide variety of purposes over the years. Originally utilised as a headquarters for the Merchant Guild, it has also been an armoury, a treasury, a theatre, at which Shakespeare performed. And for 3 months between 1569 and 70, it was the location where Mary Queen of Scots was incarcerated, at the behest of Queen Elizabeth I. With its rich, long-standing history, it's a small wonder that numerous ghost sightings have been reported at St. Mary's. Strange lights, a lady in grey, a young girl in a blue dress, and the figure of a monk being the most common. It is the latter who seems to have made an appearance that was immortalised in a photograph 36 years ago. On January 22, 1985, the Coventry Freemen were holding a dinner at St. Mary's. Wishing to capture an image of the members at prayer, a photographer set up his camera for a long exposure due to the low lighting in the hall. After the photo was developed, something at the edge of the print looked distinctly unfamiliar. A robed and hooded form can be seen, hands clasped to its front, and head unbowed, standing near the hall's large tapestry. What do you think of that? This form wasn't noticed by the photographer at the time, and none of the attendees that evening wore such a garment. Nor do they recall seeing an unrecognisable guest or figure close by when the photo was taken. Given the Guildhall was built near a former monastery, in conjunction with the account of a monk being seen within the premises, it's impossible to ignore the notion that this is indeed the phantom monk who wanders St. Mary's Guildhall. As far as we're aware, no more earthly, definite explanation for the image has been put forward to this day. What do you make of it? The USS Yorktown. Moored at Patriots Point in Charleston County since 1975, the USS Yorktown has a varied and interesting history. Launched in 1943 and renamed from Bonhomme Richard in honour of the USS Yorktown, destroyed during the Battle of Midway, she served as an aircraft carrier in World War II. After undergoing modernisation, the Yorktown also participated in both the Korean and Vietnam Wars, recovered the crew and capsule of the Apollo 8, and even featured in films such as Tora, 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 and the Philadelphia Experiment. Somewhat miraculously, the USS Yorktown was only hit once during her service in World War II. On March 18, 1945, after launching airstrikes at Kyushu, the vessel was struck by a 550-pound explosive dropped by a Japanese dive bomber, resulting in the death of 5 crewmen. Now a National Historic Landmark, the Shivers Museum, frequented by visitors eager to learn of its past. However, some of those who have stepped aboard have experienced sights, sounds, and sensations that they ascribe to paranormal activity. One example of a vision that has evaded explanation was caught on camera by a couple who were photographing the aircraft on board. The image shown here has mystified staff for years. This photo does seem to depict an uncanny resemblance to the figure of a man dressed in 1940s aircrew attire. The fact that staff on the USS Yorktown have tried to reproduce this photograph without any success is certainly thought-provoking. The ship has gained such a reputation for its supernatural incidents that ghost tours regularly take place on it. Other images taken portray dark shapes moving throughout the vessel. Here, Mark Adams of South Carolina Educational Television shows what he captured when he spent the night on board. With a laser pointer placed in one corridor to highlight movement, alongside an unmanned camera, a dark form is seen moving down the passage. Take a look.
When we were done the next morning, I was actually a little disappointed because I was hoping to see a ghost. I was hoping to have some kind of experience, and I was a little disappointed. I came back and I downloaded all of my photographs that I took that night into the computer, and I started going through the photographs. And I realized 2 of the photos were kind of interesting. I wanted to take a photo of the hallway that had the laser grid shining on the walls. When I came back to ETV and was looking at those 2 still photos, I noticed in the second photo, you could see the back wall at the end of the hallway. The laser lights lit the back wall. The first photo, you couldn't. It was like there was a black mass over it. I thought, well, that's odd. And I thought, well, okay, where the blackness is, the laser lights are streaking, which means they're in motion because this is a timed exposure. All the other laser lights are perfectly still, but the few of those laser lights in the black mass are moving. Okay, wait a minute.
Crew have also reported doors slamming, strange noises, and even experienced unseen entities grabbing hold of audio equipment. Could this be the spirits of those lost on board the USS Yorktown, making their presence felt? For those of a bold and curious disposition, the museum offers the chance to camp overnight. We'd be fascinated to hear from anyone who has done so and witnessed any paranormal activity in person. The Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Now, you may well have seen some of the images shown here on other YouTube channels, as the content uploaded by Kent Burris on his YouTube channel, Ghosts of Carmel, Maine, is both terrifying and extraordinary, resulting in many of his videos being reposted and discussed extensively online. Kent and his family moved into Lamb House in Carmel, Maine in 2014. It didn't take long for the unnerving occurrences to occur within their new home, which Kent started documenting, leading to the creation of his channel. The first entry, or anomaly as Kent chooses to describe them, witnessed and captured on film, is a strange dark shape whose form alters as it flits against the light of a bedroom window. Understandably, Kent's reaction registers both shock and fear upon seeing this manifestation. Take a look.
With this being the first anomaly that I witnessed here at the Lamb House, what really scared me about this encounter, whatever this was in the window, its arm was moving up and down really fast, as if it was waving for me to leave the room. This was quite startling. After viewing the recordings, what really got my attention, it looked like a child was hanging off the front of this anomaly. I knew I've seen this child somewhere before. I went through my file pictures, and what I found was an apparition of a child standing outside the front porch window, just looking at me, and they looked like the same child to me.
Seemingly this same dark mass appears yet again, this time venturing from the window and into the room.
Okay, there he is, in the window again. Went under the bed. After I viewed the video from this encounter, what I saw in the video looked nothing like what I saw in real time. In real time, it looked like another small shadow apparition sitting in the window. I've captured this 2 times before. One of the captures actually looked like a small apparition jumping from the window.
However, it's the apparition dubbed Shadow Dude that is perhaps the most often discussed, and who appears frequently, takes a stronger, more definite form, and moves into a closer proximity to Kent than the other entities do. Take a look at this.
Adam's coming over tonight. We're going to do a complete walkthrough. Hope you guys say something or do something. Oh my God! No! Oh. I viewed this recording closely, and once again I noticed this apparition has a gray face and a head. I don't believe this is a shadow apparition at this point. However, I don't know if this is Shadow Dude either. At this point, I have no idea what kind of spirit I'm dealing with here.
These are just a few examples of unsettling footage caught by Kent, and his channel supports and supplements his findings with EVP recordings, and findings from visiting paranormal investigators who experience the phenomena of Lamb House for themselves. Due to the sights and sounds he has witnessed whilst residing at the property, Kent, who once proclaimed himself a skeptic regarding the paranormal, has become a firm believer in it. As he does not monetize his videos, it's hard to discern what the purpose would be of falsifying his accounts and manipulating the material he posts. There is no doubt that if there is no rational explanation behind the content depicted, that Kent has given us some of the most compelling evidence of supernatural encounters we have ever seen. But what do you think? So that's 5 instances of ghosts caught on camera. We hope you've enjoyed, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.